No, we can't afford you anymore. Off you go. Hello and welcome back to Tweed's Garage, where I thought I'd do a little videos about if I've purchased any items that you might find interesting. Do you like that? You might find interesting. I would do a little video and show you. So yeah, we're going to call these Tweed's Heirlooms. Yeah, after a previous video. And yes, I've been out and purchasing something that I thought you might like to see. So come on in. Let's go and have a look. So here's the latest family heirloom. It's a Pifco motorist torch. Yep, I'm afraid I said Pifco too many times and heard it too many times when I was doing the edit of the last video. So I went down an eBay rabbit hole and found this one. I sort of couldn't believe that it actually came with the box. So here it is in its original box. It has been used, but it's amazing that the box has survived, and it does come with the spare dome as well. Now I was sort of fascinated by these because my granddad had one of these. Well, not one of these. My grandfather had the X-side motorist torch. Same principle, but it was a little bit later. And they sort of squared off the design. It was made of plastic rather than metal, but these are slightly earlier. But it was the same principle. So let's take it out of the box. I've got a clear lens, and then a superb Pifco motorist torch. Look at that! Behold its beauty. And yes, I know there's a few envious eyes over the pond. Young Randall over there, he'd love to get his hands on this.
I'll take it for me!
So, have a look round it. And this is a sort of classic, if you know these, the sort of switch where you had the off, you could have the front lamp on, you could have the top lamp on, or top and front lamp. So you could go all the way with it. These are a 6-volt torch, so they require quite a big battery. For those that don't know, they take one of these. You can still get these. I know when my granddad had his torch, they were expensive back then, and I was allowed to play with it, but I was allowed to turn it on because I was fascinated by the flashing red light in the top. There's no electronics. It is actually a flashing bulb. That is controlled by a sort of bimetal strip that gets hot and bends out the way, breaks contact, cools down, makes contact, light comes on again, heats up, and then it breaks contact, goes off, and that gives you your flashing. So yeah, I was allowed to sort of do that until it started flashing, then I had to turn it off because yeah, you didn't want to waste the battery and have to buy another one. So yeah, so I have fond memories of these from my childhood. Yeah, I mean, you know, there wasn't a lot going on in the 70s, and a flashing bulb was you know, the peak of excitement. So yeah, there it is. So it came with another lamp. I've got a battery for it, which will pop in, but it also came with, in the box was tucked, which is handy. It's come with a spare glass, spare reflector, bulb, and another bezel as well, just in case. So there it is in all its loveliness, and then the battery goes in the bottom. So you unscrew the base. You have to be a bit careful with it because it's sort of press plated steel. You can cross thread these if you're not careful, and if they get dirt in them, they sort of yeah, they get quite difficult to get undone. But as you can see, nobody's left well, maybe a battery left in there once with a little bit of corrosion, but nothing too bad, and the terminals are all good up in there, and that's sort of the middle contact, and then the outer spring on the battery contacts anywhere around there. So yeah, let's pop that in. There we go. So 6-volt battery slides in there like that, and then carefully screw the lid back on without trying to cross thread it. So there we go, and it comes with a sprung loaded handle, so you could sort of angle it up if you're working under the car, and this also moves up and down a little bit as well, to get you right on the spot when you're changing a tyre or looking for that elusive spark that's disappeared. But if you can't fix it, then you have the red light on the top to put behind the car to warn motorists coming up behind you if your lights have failed. But you can also change to the clear lens and place it in front of the vehicle and have a flashing white light in front. Some people did have two, you know, those are sort of more salubrious earnings, may have a couple in the back of the car. But talking to a lady I know, I was just talking about these. She goes, "Oh, I remember these. My dad had one of these, and he wouldn't go anywhere without it when he was out motoring." And whenever I went out as well, when I started to learn, he always made sure I took it with me, because you know, then people didn't have mobile phones, you didn't have all the street lighting and the, you know, the amount of built up areas we have nowadays. So you could get stuck in the middle of nowhere with a dead car, and you know, this was probably a good godsend. So here we go. Let's turn on the front torch. Yes, behold the sheer bright intensity. You may want to put sunglasses on. You may damage your retinas from the brightness of the main light there. And then we switch over to the, and as you can see, because it's a classic Pifco torch, it doesn't come on in the indent. You have to sort of wiggle it around a bit to get it to come on. And there we go. There's the red light, and then you have to wait for it to warm up and start flashing. All the excitement, the thrill, waiting for it to come on. Will it flash? Won't it flash? You can do other things whilst you're waiting for this to come on. But for a small boy, when I was a small boy, this was the height of excitement, waiting for it to flash. Still waiting. And there we go. Now, it shouldn't flash like this. It's got a slight fault with the bulb. It does sort of kind of work, but I think the bimetal strip has pushed to one side, so it's not quite working. But I have searched the internet and managed to find some new flashing light bulbs. Here they are. I don't know if you can see. Let me see if I can show you the bimetal strip. Right, that's it, it's flashing. Let's turn it off so we don't flatten the battery. There we go. Right, I don't know if you can see. Let me change lenses. Let's do a close. There you go. See there? There's like a bimetal strip there that bends away from the contact when it gets hot, and then breaks the circuit, cools down, and then curves back again, makes contact, and puts the light back on, and so forth and so forth. Yeah, let's change that. And then, yeah, if you want a white one, you just change to the white one like that. But we like the red one. Let's see if we can get this bulb out. It is quite tight. We may have to use pliers and break the bulb. Righty-ho, hang on a minute. Success, managed to loosen it. Damaging it. Take out the old bulb. Pop in a new one. This is what I tend to do with 6-volt bulbs now, because they just seem to be getting harder and harder to get hold of. It's like with the mopeds I've got on the old bikes of 6-volt bulbs. If I haven't got a bulb and need to find one, eBay's a good source because of course they're made in China, and I just buy boxes of 10 of them at a time, you know, just in case in the future you can't get hold of them. So yeah, more family heirlooms for the daughter. Lots of boxes of bulbs. There we go. Let's pop that on there. Let's turn it on. There we go. Put the ring back on. There you go. Hang on. Quite a fast action on that. But what a splendid thing. Shall we turn both on? Battery goes flat. Even though it's a brand new battery, and even then with the sort of draw of the bulb, you can see the main bulb dimming and the red light flashing faster. So there you go, one Pifco motorist's torch. Yeah, very pleased with that. Probably stick it in the Riley for emergencies. So what I'll do when the battery finally expires, which will probably be about 3 minutes of running the torch, is use the size of it to work, make a little box, and use the spring contacts from the battery and make up a little case that will go in there, and I can just have a sort of rechargeable battery in the case, so I can just have it running. I mean, we might change this bulb to a LED. I mean, they're not huge watts, they're about 0.35 of a watt. The flashing one's 0.45, you know, so sort of nearly half a watt, which for a battery is quite a draw. Yeah, so even if we can reduce the power on the torch and make it a bit brighter as well, the torch will actually be useful. But yeah, there you go, I'm very pleased with it, and thought I'd show it to you. So another Mr. Tweed's family heirloom, the Pifco motorist torch. So there you go, Pifco motorist torch. And for those who want to know, Pifco, where did they get their name from? It stands for the Provincial Incandescent Fitting Company. Originally made gas fittings, lights and gas mantles, things like that. And then after the First World War, they branched into making consumer electrical items like hair dryers, shavers, Christmas tree lights they were quite famous for, and of course torches. Originally they're all made sort of based in Manchester, but then I think after the Second World War they branched out. So like this box has, it's got Empire made, which means they were sort of made in Hong Kong at the time. Yeah, so there you go. Hope you found it interesting. Just a short little video, and I might make it an item, you know, Tweed's family heirlooms, whenever I purchase something that I might find I think you might find interesting, even if my family don't. And yeah, and I'm sure it's tweaked your interest, and I'm sure some of you are going off to eBay right now, so buy them early because the prices are only going to go up. I'm not a qualified financial advisor, so don't take that as advice. Okay, so there you go. I'm going to sort of run around with this flashing in the garden until the battery runs out, and I'll see you next time. All right, cheerio. Did I actually press start? And oh dear, struggling with this one. What's the word I'm thinking of? Did I press play? I did press play.